The following video is available in audio-only format on the free Red Pill Philosophy smartphone app. If you were about to hit the gym or go for a walk or on your way to work, just pop in your headphones and take this video on the go with you. To download the free app, just click the link below.
It's because of an unpopular opinion that I might have that some people in the black community don't want to hear. All I was talking about when I was called a racist was the fact that I think there's a disproportionate amount of violence in the black community. I wasn't talking about the causes and effects and why. I was just saying that there is, and I think I fell victim to that in the city when that woman stepped up and started smacking me in the face because I was taking pictures. I saw that jump, that 0 to 60 jump to violence that you don't normally see in a civil society.
Well, let me point something else out to you.
There's an issue that way.
Let me point something else out to you that I was pointing out that maybe that's not popular, and it's what I do. I talk about how, and it just asks you these questions, and you can tell me the answer to them.
Sure.
When you look in the inner cities, there's a lot of violence in most inner cities, right? And there's usually a lot of minorities in inner cities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of those minorities, what is the ratio of single mother homes and full family homes?
Oh my God, it's there are way more single family homes, single parent homes.
And the single parent homes are usually which gender, male or female?
Female.
All right, so the inner cities where you have all this violence, who's raising these violent individuals?
Either the mothers or the grandmothers. Yeah.
Single black mothers typically. So you wonder where all the violence comes from and why all the gangs, again, most gang members don't have good fathers at home. So no one wants to point out that these single black mothers, just like one of the black women who ran up in your face and wanted to fight you, are raising these violent ass inner city thugs, and no one will say it. If it was single black men raising all these violent men, the first thing it'd be was splashed on the front of the newspapers that these single black men are failing their children. They're raising these violent thugs, but they refuse to say it about the women. Now, Anthony, why is that?
Well, first of all, I got to tell you that is brilliant because I've never heard it put that way. Everyone says the lack of the male parent in the household is the cause or part of the cause of some of the problems in the black community.
Mm-hmm.
But they've never brought up the fact, well, fuck who's not there. Who is there?
Thank you.
So that's actually the first time I've really heard it put that way. And I would assume, well, a lot of black chicks, as I could just say, don't take much shit. They won't take shit from anybody. And whether it's deserved or not.
Well, think about it. They're known as being violent. If you look at any commercial, when the black chick is in the commercial, she's the she's the one who gives you bad customer service. When you watch any movie, when you need a smart ass sidekick or somebody that kicks ass, it's the black woman. They take pride in having that thought. Right now, go and Google on YouTube women fighting. Almost the majority of them will be black women fighting.
Right.
It's a shame. They don't fight in front of their children. There's been several cases of where black women have sat there, brought the camera. There was one I put up. There was 30 black women fighting in a ditch, and they were like 20-year-old girls, and their mothers were out there fighting with them. There wasn't a man in sight. Anthony, I want you to do me a favor. Every time you see those fight videos, look and see how many other women are encouraging them to fight and how many times there are no men there at all. It's women and children.
I've absolutely seen many of those videos, and it's beyond me how just an encounter in a fast food restaurant turns to immediate violence. And just not just a smack or some bad words.
Thank you.
Like chairs over the head, old Western type fight, brawl.
They fight. They fight. People get mad when I say it. They fight like men. When you see two white girls fighting, you're going to see a lot of hair pulling, and usually one of them will be crying in the middle of the fight. You can kind of watch it and get a beer and might get off on it. When you watch two black chicks fight, it literally looks like two hyenas fighting. Somebody's going to seriously get hurt. They are throwing haymakers like dudes. I've seen them get into stances like men. They will literally get into a fighting stance.
Yeah. Where does this come from, TJ? I mean, what do we have to look at that really brought this on in black women?
Black women are looking for an identity. In the United States, the standard of beauty is not black women. So if you're a woman and you know that you're being judged by beauty, and you have this standard in a country that you don't run, because blacks don't run the United States, and nothing is standardized by them other than probably music and sports, and then that wasn't ours. We just excelled at it. This is why you have black women buying weaves, spending $10 billion a year on a hairpiece, and a hairpiece that looks nothing natural to them. They're trying their best to replace white women as the standard of beauty in the United States. Don't believe me? There's a show on television called Scandal. You'd be shocked to find out that Scandal is the #1 watched television show by black women. Now,
Real?
Yes, #1 watch. You go look it up. Now, if you replace that white male president with a black male president, and that black woman with a white woman, and you had that show on ABC where the black male president was having sex with the white aide, how long do you think that it stayed on ABC? How long?
It wouldn't have even gotten on. Yeah.
But so you have to look at what black women are reaching for. And when you took the man out of the home in the 70s, you replaced the man with the woman. The woman became the person who had to teach the violence, who had to whip the kids. If you go back to movies like The Color Purple, what were the black women even in that movie regarded as? Violent, silly. You sit there and beat them. She beat up her own husband. Black women have always been portrayed as this violent character, and they eat it up because they're looking for something to be identified for. And having a bad attitude and being violent is the only thing they've gotten identified for in the United States. Oh, and having a big butt. So look at how they talk about each one of them. It's their badges of honor.
Yeah, I can't deny what you're saying. What do you think there are there any solutions? What do you need to do to maybe remedy this, even if it takes generations?
Right now, I'm producing a film, and you can tell your people to go to it. It's called A Fatherless America, and it's at afatherlessamerica.com. And the reason I'm doing that movie is because one of the biggest issues we have in the United States, and it's black people and white people, all people in the United States, is that fathers are being devalued every day.
Yes.
And what happens is it's severely destroyed the black community. And until us as Americans start to recognize the value and the importance of fatherhood, because when you break it down to what I was saying, a lot of these kids that come from single mother homes, a lot of these kids are really, really violent. You can almost trace every violent crime back to there was no father in the home. Like the vast majority of them, there wasn't a father there. And yet we don't bring this out. It doesn't make sense. If the vast majority of Ebola cases came in through LaGuardia, don't you think somebody at some point would point out, well, LaGuardia is producing an inordinate amount of Ebola patients.
Right.
But nobody wants to point out that single mothers are putting out an inordinate amount of violent children. And maybe, go ahead.
Years ago, I think it's a full family, a family with a mother, a father, the kids, was kind of looked at as a conservative ideal, which is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. And when a lot of single mother households started popping up, and any criticism was thrown their way, it was looked at as if the mean conservatives were picking on the families that, hey, we can all be a family. Sometimes a family is this, and sometimes it's this and that. But so it was politically incorrect to call people out for raising children with one parent and the effect that it might have in future generations. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing now are the rewards of that.
Look, I saw a Camry commercial, and it's a sad commercial to me. You see this guy driving away, and they're having him talk over the back, and one of the last things and you see another car chasing him, and you wonder what they're chasing him for, and then he says, "And I did not hold my peace." And so you look to the side of in the passenger side, it's of course the bride, and she's throwing her bouquet out the window, and the groom and the groomsmen are running behind him trying to stop him. So it's showing how it's easy. Like it used to be that if a woman was a whore, we're living in whore culture, is what I always say. Because right now we're rewarding whores for being whores. This commercial is talking about how bold it is to go and take somebody else's wife and ruin a family. They have another commercial, another car commercial. I think it's Acura, where this guy goes into the prom and he just walks up to this other guy's girlfriend, kisses the girl while the guy's there. The guy punches him in the eye, of course. He drives off in the Acura. And again, it was talking about how that's being bold. We reward the most aberrant behavior right now in the United States by women. It gets rewarded. You can be a woman. There's a woman right now who has a guy on child support, and it's not his kid, and they will not make him. They will not take him off of it, even though she lied and said that the kid was his. He started paying, and he started realizing the kid doesn't look like him. He goes back, gets his DNA test. They're right. Yep, sir, you're right. It's not yours, but you've been doing it for so long. You were married to the woman.
Right.
It's
you've been
still
doing
yours.
it for so long, so now you got to keep doing it, which is.
We allow women to just be childish. Women have 33 forms of birth control, but even if that still doesn't work, we allow them to wait up until the 6th month to be able to have an abortion. A woman can kill a kid up to 6 months, but if you're running down the street away from somebody, bump into a woman, she loses her baby, you can get charged with involuntary manslaughter, and she was only 2 months pregnant. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense. I know that the legal system is insane when it comes to women. We have to be force-fed on a daily basis how women don't have the same rights, either in the workplace, as far as pay goes, with education and everything. Yet you'll never hear a woman argue in a divorce case that she is just as capable to work and earn, yet she needs to take the man's money for years and years and the house. And I didn't even have any kids or any property when I was married. I still don't. Well, I have property, but no kids. And I was literally mugged in that courtroom to pay this woman for doing nothing but cooking occasionally and occasionally fucking me.
Yep.
And that's why I had to pay her 7 figures. And yet, you'll hear how horrible it is that there's discrimination and pay separation and things like that.
Isn't it amazing?
Always what suits you best.
Yeah, isn't it amazing you never see Gloria Allred run up into a court whenever a woman has killed her, Andrea Yates, her children, and even right now in the United States, the court system is a place where men get fucked. Andrea Yates killed her husband and her children, killed all her kids. And the first question that's asked by the court system and everybody else is, I wonder what drove her to do it. But when a man does something like that, no one ever questions what drove him to do it. Hell, everybody's still mad at Ray Rice when you can clearly see that this woman was hitting him too, even when she said, I hit him too. Mutual combat. When you put your hands on me, it's mutual combat. It should be, since women claim that they're equal. Hell, I have a saying, women want equal rights, give them equal lefts. My thing, because if you sit,
you know something, I didn't even think about laying a hand on that woman in Times Square, and I didn't. But man, she was just throwing, and it's that thought that women have that they are not going to be hit. So if you knew you could walk up to some guy that was bugging the piss out of you and punch him, without him being able to fight back, I'd be hitting people all day long.
Thank you. It takes away the common sense factor. It takes away logic. Because if you don't have,
it takes away the consequence.
And that's what's sad about women right now. Like people get mad when I say this. I say women to me are like retarded children. Like they really are. Like no matter when I was in grade school, I went to a public school, and we used to call them snack pack throwers. The retarded kids used to just be able to throw their damn stuff up against the wall and waste their food. And they didn't get, I never saw them in school suspension. I kept saying as a kid, I said, well, why not? And they explained, one of the teachers explained to me, well, they can't control themselves. If you look at it, We treat women like they cannot control themselves. If you watch any time that a man cheats, if he gets slapped, the woman says, you deserve to get slapped, punched, tire slashed, stabbed because you cheated. We make jokes about mutilating a man and cutting his penis off.
Cutting his balls off, right.
Right. You can't watch an episode of America's Funniest Videos without seeing some guy get kicked or punched in the nuts.
Yeah, imagine, jokes about cutting a woman's tits off or something.
Clitoris, yeah. They were doing it in Africa, and the fucking world was outraged. It's not like they were doing it in West Virginia, but the world was outraged at what they were doing there. But nobody's outraged at how men are getting killed every day in their sleep because the woman no longer wants to be married to the guy anymore, or the woman wants to get all of his life insurance, or, God forbid, she don't want to be embarrassed by the public by going through a divorce. I've seen all of this crap. There's a reason why there's a show called Snapped about women who just snap, and they even call it snap, like they just couldn't control themselves anymore, so they had to kill their kids. They had to kill the mayor. They had to do all this stuff. Where's the show that says men get to snap on their wives? Where's the show that if a man finds out his wife is cheating, he get to slap the hell out of her? There is no show.
We're just supposed to be emasculated at every turn, whether it's TV shows or commercials, or like you said, the guy is the little wimpy person that doesn't have good opinions or in a movie or a commercial, and the woman is the stronger of the two. Like, well, look at this idiot that I'm married to. Thank God I'm here to, do this, that, and the other thing. But so, are you with a significant other? And do the women you meet on a personal basis have a problem with you? Do they have to get over that? Is it something that they talk to you and realize, you're not going to belt them in the face or anything? How's that personal life with the girls?
I just don't really know how to date. I don't think it's a fair playing field for men. You have women who always ask the question now of what happened in chivalry. Well, feminism killed it. That's a simple question. Why would you say that you want to make the same amount of money as I make, but you want to go on 5 dates a week, 5 dates, and you want the 5 men to pay for the whole date while you just get to see which one of the guys that you may like or may want to screw. And half the time, they're screwing the guy that isn't giving them any damn thing. Because that's what happened to me. I'm paying all of the bills, and the guy you're screwing isn't doing anything but getting to come in and screw you when I go out of town.
I don't want a girl that I'm going out with or dating to also be a competitor in life, in the workplace, and have this, I kind of, call me old-fashioned, but I do kind of like the that old male-female dynamic.
Me too.
From years ago. I don't want it to be a competition in the workplace or anywhere else that I go with a girl. I'd rather
Americanized women.
Yes, be the lady, be the gentleman, and handle it that way.
Americanized women, you will not get that. Even though mine was a Russian, she was Americanized, and all of the whole, and that's where the problem is. In America, women are entitled. In America, women...
You were getting a lot of shit for dating a white girl from black guys, weren't you?
Oh, man, they were stalking me. They were stalking her. They were putting up... They're still putting up photos. They were calling her all kinds of bitches and whores, and I'm trying to defend this chick, and it looks horrible to me. I mean, it was stupid.
I read something that said... you can't be a real black man if you're going out with a white woman.
Right, there's the stupid stuff that they're saying. They're saying Russell Wilson isn't black enough, the quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, yet they have a mixed president and they claim how black he is. I'm not understanding it. Like when we as black people speak, you don't know if it'll hold true tomorrow. It just hold true for that instance, that day. There is no, you can't follow it logically. It's one day you want to be called this, one day you want to be called that. One day you don't want people to speak to you like this, and one day it's okay. And it's like this weird little hoop, or it's like playing double dutch when you're dealing with what is okay to do or say to black people that day. One day it's okay, one day it's not. And that's the hard part about us in America, American blacks, is we're not consistent. We're not consistent with anything. One day we're really upset about what's going on in Staten Island and the cops. When's the last time you heard them say anything about what happened in Staten Island? When's the last time the media covered that?
Oh, those hashtags go away really quickly these days.
I just think it's really strange that we can't call certain things out, but we can call other things out. You can call out a misogynist. You can say that a guy, just for having any attitude towards something you don't like, he's somehow a misogynist. And if you can do this, then you should be able to break everything down. But you can't break everything down. Like, again, the white male is a guy that anybody can talk shit about, and he can't say anything. The white male, you can do a comedy skit literally about the white man can't dance. He's a stuck up, stick in the mud. He talks like this. He acts like. You can make that joke all day. Nobody says anything. On television right now, the white male looks like a goofy dumbass who just drinks beer all day, and his wife's got to lead him by the nose throughout life, or his girlfriend's got to lead him by the nose throughout life. It's okay. There was one commercial. It was the most offensive commercial I'd seen this year. It's a Buick commercial. Go look at it. There's a man and a woman sitting there, and the woman says, look like the Garcias got a new car. The guy, of course, looks like a nerd, white nerd. He puts his binoculars on his eyes and looks at the car, and he's like, he must have got a raise. Good for him. And the wife says, and because his wife gets out of the car, and the Garcia's guy wife gets out of the car, and the wife says, good for her. Now, you need to get Ray Rice in the next elevator if you say something like that to your husband. This man says this guy got he must have gotten a raise. That's why he's got this new car. Good for him. The wife looks at you and says, good for her.
Good for her. Yeah, it's been that way for quite a while now. You know, the regular old working Joe white guy is the guy that could be kicked around with impunity, and everyone else is very touchy, very, very sensitive. You got to walk on eggshells.
Let me put this on your brain. I always talk about women, and women talk about the power they have. Women have the power to, if they get mad at you, can put you on the couch and deny you sex in a marriage and all this crap. That's like a punishment. Okay, I get it. Women can control a man's thought. I get it. So in these inner cities, you have, again, single mothers raising these little boys and girls, and you have all this violence. Well, the main thing that the women who are raising these kids can do is, one, probably just stop having a kid with a guy that isn't shit and is going to leave you, because unless you're just a dummy, you probably knew this was a good guy or not. And you look in Tennessee, there are 3 guys in Tennessee that fathered 78 children. Go look it up. 3 guys who fathered 78 children with 46 women.
That's crazy.
And the women knew about each other, but they still kept letting him get them pregnant, which is, but do you want to blame the guy? The guy's a bad guy. But if you think about this in the inner cities, you see black women protesting against, they didn't get shown in a good light on the television show. They'll protest. They will argue to the hilt. You'll see that they said something about Michelle Obama. They'll protest and argue to the damn hilt. I say something they don't like. They'll protest and try to get me kicked off. But have you noticed the one thing you haven't seen black women out in the streets doing and on MSNBC? Protesting against inner city violence amongst the black males. Notice that they're not going out in the street and saying, if you continue to do this, we won't have sex with you. We won't do anything with you. That
holding back sex thing for that.
They haven't done any of this. So you have to ask yourself, too, when people are talking about this white supremacy and the white man wants to see black men kill each other, there's a group of people who like watching Scandal, who dream that white men are lusting after them with their white wives. They just wish they had a black woman. They just can't do it. That same group are producing these violent children, and you don't see them do like Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Why they don't have Mothers Against Dumbass Violence? They should have, they don't have it. So why aren't black women who are producing these children and watching these children die in the streets every day, why are they not on MSNBC pleading for that inner city element to stop?
Yeah, there should be something, why not today, right there in Atlanta where you are, that arrest was just made. A child was shot in the legs during a drive-by, and nothing. Just like it barely gets a mention because, again, hey, well, it's gang violence, it's this, that. It really amazes me the lack of interest in trying to save people in the community.
Yeah, there's no interest.
Black violence.
There's no interest. They don't want to do it. And I keep looking at the women. The women will protest the fact that there's not been enough black women to win Miss America. There's not enough black women in a music video. Shit like this. Right. Excuse my French. But they will sit there and argue these things. Yet they're losing the Chicago. 40 murders in a weekend. And it was on Father's Day weekend, like there was 40. And you sit there, 40 shootings and 18 murders, something stupid like that. But you watch, you don't see the women sit up there and say, look, this is getting out of hand. We're losing our sons. We're losing our uncles. We're losing our brothers. We're going to quail this because we're actually the ones producing this. We can shut this down.
I would think if you're that concerned about the young people that are being killed, why is it more important who did the killing and who's being killed? Because it does seem that it's a lot more important if it's a white on black incident or a young black male incident than it is a black on black shooting that we are seeing in epidemic proportions in a city like Chicago.
And then look at this, like in Tennessee, it was one of the sickest cases I'd ever seen. 3 black people, 2 guys and 1 girl, kidnaps this white Tennessee couple, University of Tennessee couple. Oh. You heard about that, right?
Unbelievably
sick case.
Yeah.
Yet the white father had to listen to the black guy get on the stand and say she was there to have sex with us, and she was, just straight lie on his daughter. But he can't walk out in the public and say how vicious black people are, how he hates black people. Because I was looking at that man's face during that trial, and I thought how many N words, as they would say. I thought if I was this white guy, how many I would say when you did that to my daughter, and then you sit there and talk to shit about my daughter after she's dead. Me and all my friends would get around a campfire and say it as many times as we want. Why? Because as black people, we would have done the same thing had it been some white people. But when white people have to deal with it, they just have to smile and not say a fucking word. They have to act like it doesn't even bother them if they had their whole family wiped out by some violent black thugs who came into the neighborhood. They can't say anything about violent black thugs.
I never understood why people have been held to not being allowed to say the worst thing ever, the most offensive word ever, to somebody that literally killed a family member.
Thank you.
like it's a word. It's a word. If you're that angry to use that word, then again, context is king here.
Yep.
If that happened, I think the guy should get a pass.
Right, and they will be more upset with what the father said than what happened to him.
Yes,
had he got in front of the cameras and said, them damn niggers, I can't stand them, they would have said, this guy's a piece of shit. His life would have been ruined, and his daughter was murdered, raped and murdered.
Yes, and he would have been the bad guy if he didn't bite his tongue, and goddamn, he was trying to think of the worst possible things he could have said. Mm-hmm. But we like to believe that isn't even working out in people's heads.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. You watch every time when there was a black cop who killed a young white boy. There was no protest from white people saying these black cops are out of hand.
Yeah, unbelievable. TJ, you're fucking great. I've wanted to have you on for quite a while. I love like I said, your Twitter and your YouTube videos are great. Very outspoken, very honest. I love it, man. I want to thank you for coming on the show today.
Well, thank you. Let me plug it. And for the people who want to go find me, they can find me on Twitter at tjsotomayor, and to spell that SOTOMAYOR. You can also just go to tommysotomayor.com and see anything that you want to see about me. And Anthony, it's been an honor to be on your show, brother.
It's just, it's been a lot of fun. I'll definitely have you on again, man. I'd love to. Maybe I do your show too.
Oh, I would love it. I'll put you in for it. I'd love to have you on there. Tomorrow we have Benny Madrones on the show. I think I'm saying his name right. He's going to be on the show. He's going to talk about the old song. I'm sure you remember it. The song Into the Night. You remember that song, Into the Night? It was the number one hit, Into the Night, when he said, she's just 16 years old.
Oh.
Yeah. He's going to be on my show tomorrow night, and I'm going to ask him, could you get away with that song today?
Holy shit. Exactly. It changed the lyrics there, man.
I know. So it's a fun thing, a fun show. We have a lot of fun. It's just like what you're doing here. Kind of, I like about the same format, so I'd love to have you on.
Very cool. TJ, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Every week, I release videos and content that you never see. Become a Red Pill member for exclusive access and take the Red Pill to the next level.